Been combined, and this is their second race of the weekend. Six-lapper on the cards here. Just waiting for them all to get gridded up. We've got the 250 production. You can see them with the orange backgrounds and the black numbers. That indicates they're a 250 production bike. And the lightweight development, or Supersport lightweight, as we're calling it, that has the white background and the black number on it. So that's how you can tell the two bikes apart. We're excited and ready to go racing with this one here. The marshals are now happy, so we're in and ready to go. But Nick Clark on pole. He had a good race but had to settle for third last time around. Let's go and see what happens here. A six-lapper. We were treated to a feast of racing last time. Some fierce rivalries out there, and the lights come on. We're ready to go and going now. Lights are out and all of our front row get a great start. So looking out the window here on a beautiful sunny day in the Garden City, Mike Perry Motorsport coming alive with the 250 production and Supersport lightweight. Combined is one race. They gridded up separately, but all get the one start and going nicely for them as well. But a genuine seven-way fight last time around. It's only a six-lapper, so I'll look out for this one, and they still have another race on the program later on this afternoon. So brought to us by Access Man, our 250 production, the awesome people making height easy, more than just your standard access equipment hire specialist. It's got to be 0800 to get high. accessman.co.nz. That's our sponsor for 250cc production racing, and also we've got Motorcycling Canterbury, the people who give the most back to New Zealand road racing. They support the Supersport lightweight category, as we're joined again by Neil. And after seeing the junior people in there from Motorcycling Canterbury, it's cool to come out here and fire up the support class on the weekend.
Yeah, well, in fact, it's exactly that, one of our support classes, and it was interesting because a long time ago, with one of the guys that was on the podium's got an RG150. Now we all know the great Jones family, and the commitment that they made to racing was just unbelievable, and they were revolutionary in getting young people on bikes. And over a period of time, it actually got older people on bikes. So I had the opportunity to go and ride a 150 at one stage from a great man, Russell Stewart, out of Payar Tour at the time, and Russell's gone on to actually be a very successful speedway sidecar competitor and has been top three in New Zealand. But in the time to have a go on his RG150, it was, wow, what an amazing machine. I thought there was something wrong with it because it just wouldn't idle, but it was because of a two-stroke waiting for a power band. You had to wait till you hit 8,000 revs before you really lit it up. And so we had the young people doing that. But when we got the podium before with these guys, we actually got, a few gentlemen out there, some older guys that are doing it as well. And I think that's so cool. So 250 production of the Access Man class, some more of our younger ones there, but we've got some older guys, but certainly that lightweight support is superb for, there we go, and there's three of them through there. I took a glimpse and spotted two and thought there was only the two of them. There was one completely in the blind spot, and he moved over to try and get the slipstream advantage, and how he didn't clip the wheel of that bike in front, I've got no idea. I thought that was all on Brad to be an absolute disaster of three bikes skidding down the track, because man, the way he whipped that bike over, I don't think he realised that the other guy was trying to come around the outside, so it was basically almost going to be three wide. There was millimetres in that. That was a scary moment, but hey, more importantly, they're all on a bike and they're all racing again. As we look up, would be a change over here, coming up to the inside, coming up to the outside. You look across, you think there's one, but there's two. In fact, it is a man on the outside. So it's an overtaking manoeuvre, and he's gone through. Nicely worked indeed. But here we are coming back. So the bike might have got the advantage, but there they are. Again, look across. So you think there's one, but there's two. They're side by side, heading through Fulton Hogan. It's left, it's right, it's back to the right again as we come around, and now towards the carousel. Love this part of the track as we take the loop. 1, 2, 3, slight gap 4, slight gap 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 through here at the moment. It's incredible to see in this enlivened 250 production lineup. In fact, I think there's about 12 in it in total, and I think we've got all of the first 8 are all up here. So there's your first 4 and a little gap. The others are more symmetrical, aren't they? 5, 6, 7, 8 to go for it. But that means that anything can still happen, and we were so close on that first lap. Man, I thought somebody was going to go skidding down the tar seal. A scary moment to look at it so close. In fact, if we were to look at a slow-mo by the millimetre, I'd love to see the gap. Maybe slide a cigarette paper up between them. You get the idea. But here we are, the 4 of them coming out of it. Then it's that slight gap 5, 6, 7, 8 we've talked about. But loving every bit of this as we come around. We've seen Simon, we've seen the two Nicks, we've seen Hayden out there, and last time we talked about in the racing, we thought that at least 3 of them had a turn at the lead at some stage during the event, and most of that happens earlier on. So here we are, not their Grand Prix, by the way, folks. I'll be back for their Grand Prix a little later on. Here we are with 250 production racing, and again close to call. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's going to mix it up this time? And in fact, so there you go, 3 changes. So there's only Simon, the only Simon who has stayed the same. So Simon Lawrence on the 71 bike. So the 85, 89 and 36 have all changed to some other position in the race from what they were on the last lap. So there you go, the jostling continues, and quite surprised, in fact, by that change. I thought we'd gone back the other way, but of course then it reversed going up into Fulton Hogan, so that's why we were back round the same with Simon. But remembering he only got third place last time by the end of the race, so he's got some work to do to hold out the others. Can they weaken him? Can they find that spot to get the advantage? And that is one of the corners to do so. Euromarket's a beautiful hairpin, best hairpin corner on a motocross and a motor circuit in New Zealand. And loving the way. You see, you've got other hairpins, and they've got a bit of an embankment to them. That one is dead flat, so there is no advantage whether you're inside, outside, or in the middle of the corner. And that's actually why you sometimes get those changes like we saw last time, where somebody can go through and take the advantage, but then they lose it again because they've gone that fraction deeper. So there is no advantage for being inside, in the middle, or outside on the corner. Just love that. Symmetrical to perfection as we look out for the trio to come through. Simon, the man who's got the advantage, looking out Nick Hayden and Nick in there, and then the battles to go through. And unfortunately, with those bikes all being Ninja 400, so there's no difference in the bikes. That none of them stand out. And I did note the white helmet, I think, was Hayden, so we'll get an idea of whether that is still Hayden in there. He's the only one, I think, in the lighter white helmet. And then that man in 5th place, and I think that's still in there, Tim Coppy. So that's Tim potentially out of that other group. No, yes it is Tim from the Supersport lightweight class. So Brad, so good to watch. Can this please go on for lap after lap after lap? Because take the 250 part of it away, it's real racing.
Oh, this is unbelievable. The 71 of Simon Lawrence is under pressure now from the man in 2nd place, Hayden Freeman. With the fastest lap from Tim Copley in 5th place. It's the first of the lightweight boys home. So quickest on the track in that 2nd class, and he's right in this bunch, so look out for this one. We're halfway through it. 3 laps have already gone, 3 laps to go. And Simon and Hayden, they were separated by 0.025, 2/100ths of a second when they crossed the line. So this is unbelievable racing. And race 1 winner Nick Hay back there in 3rd place, but don't rule him out. We've got Nick Clark, fastest qualifier, is coming home in 4th place at the moment to go with his 4th this morning. So just goes to show these guys qualify fast. And look, there's 3 of them. Oh, mixing it up into the hairpin. Unbelievable as they head out of there and on the run to Fulton Hogan. It is Tim there in 5th place. He gives up a little bit of horsepower in a straight line to these 250s, but he is loving it.
That's my white helmet, so I think it's Hayden that's now in front there, Brad, if I'm not mistaken. We'll get a confirmation the next time around through there, but from this angle, of course, it looks so different. You certainly can't see a number from the angle that we call it, but I think that's Hayden Freeman, the one that's got up there, so good work for Hayden. And amongst them there, the man from Lincoln, not just from Christchurch, but from Lincoln. Got to clarify that, don't you? That's an elite suburb, Lincoln, isn't it? On the LH Safety Limited supported Kawasaki Ninja 250, so bring on the Ninjas. They're the popular bike in there, and keen to look out to see whether Hayden has the advantage. So it was Simon, then it's Hayden. We've got the Nick and Nick show in there, Nick Hay and Nick Clark, so the 2 Nicks to battle their way through. An entire field dominated by Cantabs, are either from Christchurch, Lincoln or Kaiapoi, as we see them fighting their way out there, including of course Yvonne Evans in the field. And remembering of course that we've got that a second group to consider out there, the Supersport lightweight, the motorcycling Canterbury promoted class, and people that we've had in the group, like Tim out of Darfield. Now that's another suburb, isn't it? I'm not being rude to Darfield, but what a beautiful little town, of course. Here we go, and watching out for it. No, it is Nick, and is that Nick with the...
Yeah, Nick's the white helmet.
Oh, it is the Nick, my apologies, I did have the right. So it's Nick Hay. So we've had Simon, we've had Hayden, and now we've got Nick. So here's Nick Clark. The only time he gets to lead is when he lines up on the front row. So how did he put together the fastest qualifying? It's a unique situation, Brad, that he's back in 4th place, yet he was first.
It might have been those damn conditions we had. We had some really trying conditions.
Oh, of course.
We had qualifying sessions, so that throws a cat amongst the pigeons. And certainly the rain, they call it the ultimate leveller in motorcycle racing, and it certainly was here yesterday. And we're all finding that unfolding with our other championship classes as well. But this one here is an enthralling counter. It is still Nick Hay in 1st place, race 1 winner. He'll be loving to repeat the dose. Simon is still there in 2nd place. Then go back to Hayden and Nick. Your front 4 have bolted now with the first of the Supersport lightweights in 5th place, Tim Coopy, there on the Bikestein Label X machine. So well done to him, he'll be loving this. He won the earlier race, so look out for him. Then you look to a pretty good performance. Paul England in there in 6th place. Tom Clark and Tarek Dean, they are locked in a fearsome battle. So 3 of them all battling for 4th, or they'll be 5th, 6th and 7th in class. You go back to Logan Jackson and David Phillips, 2 podium getters from race number 1, and they are 9th and 10th. So that's 2nd and 3rd in the sort of lightweight category. And then look to Yvonne Evans, Kevin Hatton, Brent Lincoln, and go back to Noah Gorey ahead of Ashley Lincoln. So that's your Supersport program on the
Keeping on the second place there, Brad. I'm liking what I'm seeing there at the moment for his cornering ability. It's so good, but then doesn't quite get the drive out the corner, but into the corners look good. See there, right there on the tail with Nick at the moment. So I think that's going to be Simon Lawrence that we've got on attack as we follow them now. Here they are. See how they move all over the track. Nobody wants to get will give away the slipstream advantage. Maybe a change. In fact, they're moving over, and that forces the other to move. Change is there. Definitely is. Simon's got it back. Simon there in the red helmet, so the white helmet of Nick's got pushed back. So it's Simon Lawrence turn to work. Hayden and Nick will follow on behind him. And they're close enough, but they're not quite as close as that duel that's going on in front. And as you've rightfully picked up, Brad, we've now got 5 there in all, actually, with Tim Coppy coming along for the ride as well. So pretty cool to see as we stretch it out. And when you look over, sometimes you see 4 or 5 or sometimes 3. That's because there's other riders in the group that are banked together. They are literally glued together as we find this awesome group heading down to the corner. And it's Simon Lawrence at the moment doing the hard work, and I say hard work to stay in front of this group. And if he can only get a break, you see, it'll mean that there's broken air behind, so the others won't get the slipstream advantage. You've got to get up closer to get that slipstream. So when you've got the broken air, and it probably only takes about that distance that he's got now to create the broken air, and that will mean that the others can't draw along. So they've got to break through that air. And when you've got all these bikes identical, of course, see, we've got production tyres coming to play as well. So they're not racing a checkbook here today. They're all on the equal tyre fitting by technology. They're all on the same CC bike. You can't go and do anything mod to these. The word says production motorcycle. So off the shelf, yes, it's been a few moons since you bought a 250 production, but we've got to love the Ninjas. They were a great bike from the era, and they're still showing it with some awesome racing out here. Oh, and a dab coming up on the inside. And looking back there at down he goes, and that's my white helmet. So that's
race 1 winner.
Exactly.
It's drama.
So
drama.
Nick Hay's gone. He's gone. Oh man, I did not see that coming. That looked like the same corner. And what a recovery! Get the bike up and out of the way. Thank you, Nick. And we're going to come to the flag. All of that was going on in the last lap. Incredible to have lost it on the last lap. So wow, here we go. It's anybody's. We're going for the run. It's a streak along. Oh, look at them weaving their way. Nobody wants to give away the advantage. Could be a change for second. No, is it going to be? 3 all the way. Simon, Hayden, Nick, you're sensational. And the margin, top to bottom, 0.19. So under 1/5 of 1 second for first, second and third. Oh, I'm loving this. Simon Lawrence, Hayden Freeman, Nick Clark, you are sensational. Unfortunately, Nick Hay is falling like the Labour Party in the polls at the moment, so he's out of it and gone. We've got Tim Coppy up there along with Taryn and Tony, Paul and Logan. So we're cracking our top 8, and we're waiting because Logan there on the 223, he's the second of that Supersport class. We're looking for David Phillips, and David, I think that's a repeat, Brad, of our podium for the Supersport lightweight class.
Yeah, I think you'll find that as a repeat dose there, but I'll tell you what, it's a completely different story. Nick Hay, race 1 winner, he's trackside. Credit to him for that self-recovery, he got out of the way nice. That's a fast place to crash into that frightening left-hander at Southern Salvage, so he is A-OK and straight up onto his feet. Simon Lawrence will be credited with the win ahead of Hayden Freeman and Nick Clark. That'll be your podium for that class. We go to Tim Coppy, who comes home in 4th place, but that's the first of the Supersport lightweight team home. Tarek Dean's going to come home in 5th place. Tom Clark and Paul Angler, that was a great little battle, and they in fact were separated by less than a second when they all crossed the line. And go back to Logan Jackson, he's 8th place in the race with that second man on the podium for Supersport lightweight. And then go back to 9th for Yvonne Evans, and 10th will be David Phillips, who's 3rd place in our Supersport lightweight. Absolutely fantastic. If that's what we've come to expect from 250 Production Racing, I can't wait for their final race of the day. It's all on. Neil's going to run down and do us a Access Man 250 Production podium and a Motorcycling Canterbury Supersport lightweight podium, but that is an absolute treat for race fans, and what a way to warm yourself up for the big Grand Prix coming up next. We've got the Superbike Grand Prix going to start us off with a bang. 16 laps of the best in the country going at it, and New Zealand Grand Prix titles up for grabs. But right now it's going to be a 6-man podium show down on dummy grid. It's going to be something special. The camaraderie in 250 Production Racing, something epic, and you're going to see it all on display in a moment's time. We'll cross down to Neil in a minute, who will have our 250 Production podium and also our Supersport lightweight podium. Thank you to our sponsors, Access Man, more than just your standard access equipment hire specialist on accessman.co.nz, and also Motorcycling Canterbury. Go and have a look at their Have a Go days. Thanks to Trevor Pierce Yamaha and the club there. With Dennis and Wendy, part of the club, look out for them. They've got one on February the 12th and also one on April the 16th. So go on to Motorcycling Canterbury, follow them on the social media, and look out for their Have a Go days. But right now, let's cross down to Neil, who has our podiums.
Well, speaking about motorcycling Canterbury, of course, we're always on the lookout for more flag marshals. Well, now flag marshals can sometimes double between doing Canterbury Car Club events and doing motorcycling Canterbury events as well. So for those that have an interest in it, maybe it's something that you think of with motorcycles, but you can potentially get and do it as well. So I love the fact that we can have you all on board helping our great sport as well. So our 250 production podium will be our first one to do in our Access Man supported race. And Nick, any truth in the rumour that you nudged the other Nick off?
No comment.
No, exactly. Hey, how good was that really, though?
It's great racing. This 250 class is just such fun, you know, and we're all on the same bike, same machinery, so it's who's ticking the box on the day, but just great fun, you know.
What about the fact that there you are sitting on pole, of course? Did you like the wet the best yesterday? Is that the way you felt?
No, I don't mind that. Coming from the UK, I'm used to the wet, so so that's maybe something to do with it. But no, today it's fine. I'm happy with the conditions. There's nothing wrong with that. But
you're not even puffing here now. Are you an elite athlete?
I can sure. I'm hot under this lot, you know, as you can imagine. But it's good fun, you know. It's good.
Hey, the GP's on the line for the next. Let's take the way 250. And more importantly, it's production racing. It's the same as what big guys are doing. It's intense, isn't it?
It's intense, maybe not quite as fast, but it's fast enough for me, that's for sure, you know. Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, cool. Tell us a bit about your bike. Was it a race bike or has it been a street bike?
Just bought as a production bike 4 or 5 years ago, and just entered this class and found it's just such fun and cheap racing. Yeah. $2,500, you're up and running.
Wow, it's a good story.
And you know, we're running in the low 150s here, so even though it's a bike made to go down to the shop and get a pie, you can push it around the track pretty hard. So. Good fun. And did you race bit when you were in the UK? I raced a bit in the UK in the 80s, yeah. So a bit of racing there, but just enjoy the New Zealand thing. It's pretty relaxed, and of course it's affordable, which is a big difference, you know. Well
done, thank you, Nick. Thank you. That is awesome. What an interview, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Nick. There he is, pole setter, but he was struggling to get fourth. I joked with him, of course, about knocking the guy off. Please, I was very rude to say that, but just something I want to do. Well, here we are. We slot straight back into it and go straight in where we were before. So how's it feeling?
Yeah, good. It's not too bad. It's getting warmer out there, so pretty happy with that though.
What about the tyres? Of course, it's warmer as well from a body point of view, but those tyres, is it stickier? Is it better?
It's a wee bit more squirrely than what it was this morning, but it is what it is, you know. Just sort of adapt to it and send it. Yeah. All right.
Hey, how good was the racing? How many times did you have your front wheel in front and then lose it again? It just chopped and changed, didn't it?
Who knows? Well, that's the joys of 250s, you know. It's just makes so much fun.
Can you win the next one?
I'll be trying, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, well done. Awesome. So here we are in our lineup at the moment. So taking it away for our second place, the number 89 out there of Hayden Freeman. Well done. Hayden's got that helmet that was able to give us a little bit of a clue away. But here we are coming up to Simon and an awesome foursome. You kicked Nick off over there.
I did, yep. Yeah, there was a bit of a gap and he cut it at the last minute, and obviously there's a big rumple strip right there, so you don't want to hit it too hard on one of these. Yeah. So it's a bit of argy-bargy, but it's all friendly out there. No one's doing anything silly, so.
Yeah, we just make a bit of a joke about it but the racing's just as intense as bigger bike classes.
If not more intense, you know. There's really tight battles all the way through. Obviously the top 4 or 5 in this particular class are neck and neck, you know. We're going into the hairpin 3 or 4 abreast. You don't see that in any other classes. It's the cheapest and it's the most exciting at times as well.
Can you win the Grand Prix?
Well, I've done it now.
Oh, a bit of hesitation.
I've done it now. I did it 2 years ago. So, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Well done. Cool, Simon. It's absolutely awesome. Here it is. Get off my moto. And well done as we whip down. I know we're going to have a change. We've certainly got it here now at the moment. So as we get our team to get back up and take our next positions here at the moment. So we've got Dave to come up and join us here. And the man with the little 150. Still a cool bike?
Yeah, still a cool bike. Still going well.
Have you sort of got any idea of the history? How long has it been a racing bike? How many times has it been around Ruapuna? Do you know much about it?
Oh, I actually got it off a mate who was racing, and his boy raced it. So this has been a race bike for a long time.
And an affordable one.
Yes, very very nicely affordable. Yeah.
So what's the racing when you mix it up with the 250s? Is that a cool thing? Is that good for your class?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Should happen more often. Yeah. Good point.
So you're ready for the Grand Prix later on?
I am.
What about doing 3 races in a day? Is that sort of like running a mini marathon?
Yeah, at the end of the day I'm knackered. Yeah, and I don't do much, but I just recover.
Well done, David. Great result. Here. Thank you, guys. This is awesome to quick through our quick podium here as we carry on with our next group, and we've got Logan up here as well, and slotting straight back into it. This is flash, eh?
What, the bike or the riding?
Oh, both.
Yeah, no, it was a bloody hard race out there. I gave it my all, but the extra 10 horsepower actually helped him that time, so I couldn't quite get him. Try reeling him in, but you just bugger off in the distance. But yeah, no, super happy. Thanks to High Country Motorcycles, my principal sponsor, besides myself. And yeah, it was a good race, and one more to go later today.
Well done, great. Man, I didn't have to ask him many questions. He said all the right answers. Thanks, Logan. It was awesome. And here we are now with our number 41 to get up here and Tim.
You've seen I've done my